BYU and the University of Utah have sort of distinct missions in some regards, but there's a lot of shared goals in some very important ways. And you also have actually partnered together, the two universities, in some really explicit ways. So I want to start off by tell our audience, what are some of the areas where both of you, your universities, really do partner together in really substantive ways?
Well, you ask a question like this of a statistician, and I immediately am going to start quoting statistics.
This is why I'm letting him go first.
One of the things we do is we try to look at all of the people that we play sporting events with in the Big 12. And one of the things we recently did was an audit of the number of publications that we shared with all the institutions. And over the last 5 years, we have an average of 75 publications a year that are co-authored with the University of Utah colleagues. So that is a non-trivial number of publications that we collaborate on. I think over a pretty substantial amount of time, that's resulted in about 1,400 publications co-authored with the University of Utah colleagues. It is a remarkable connection that we have in so many different areas of expertise. And what I love is that they're just so complementary. We've got strengths down at BYU, and the University of Utah has incredible strengths. And I think it just is a great example of colleagues who are proximal to one another, who find great ways to collaborate, and some specific examples that are just right off the top because they're recent. I know that we have colleagues who work together on trying to find more energy efficient ways to use biomass. So things that would be considered garbage to the rest of us, they find ways to turn that into efficient energy sources. It's a remarkable effort that's been ongoing for years and years, and the strength between the two institutions is remarkable. And something that just recently happened that we couldn't be more thrilled about. As you know, we've announced a School of Medicine at BYU. We're working towards being accredited, but the collaboration that has existed between BYU and the Huntsman Institute, Cancer Institute, has been remarkable. It's provided incredible opportunities for our scholars. It's provided incredible opportunities for our students to really put into practice some of the things that they've learned. And we have a very small cancer institute, the Simmons Institute, that has just a great relationship with the Huntsman Cancer Institute. And we feel like those are just two of a remarkable number of collaborations. The U has been just an amazing relationship for us when it comes to the research endeavors at BYU.
I think let me take a step up from kind of the individual collaborations that go on. I've got the same statistics. I must have gotten them from you. So anyway, we share statistics as well. If you look, for example, at Silicon Slopes and the incredible economic engine, and I think both of us go and look at founders of companies and the number of individuals that come from both of our institutions that are in those companies, I think you could make a strong argument that not for BYU and the University of Utah and the heart of Silicon Slopes is almost equidistant from our two front doors, you would say, that economic engine is something that we may not have explicitly collaborated on, but the fact that entrepreneurship is a team sport, that drives, I think, the growth engine of the state of Utah, particularly in the tech sector. And it's interesting. I think our different alumni have different areas of focus. Yours have been really remarkable in areas of data and marketing, ours in financial technology. But almost every one of those founder companies have graduates from our two institutions. And so I think that's something we should not lay aside. I, like Shane, am extremely excited about their new medical school, and also I think the collaborations that we think will go on there. We are opening in a number of years a new cancer center in Utah Valley, and if I could be a little more specific about those collaborations, there are at least 5 different deep collaborations that are going on between our institutions. And what has been remarkable to me is these teams get together, they look at the strengths of each institution, and one institution will take the lead when they have a strength. I think about proteomics. I had to look up that word before coming here. But deep depth at Brigham Young University in this area, but you combine that with some of the data sources at Huntsman Cancer Institute, and magic happens. On the other side, we have incredible kind of biostatistics depth as well, and we see capstone projects with nearly 30 students from BYU coming and using Huntsman Cancer Institute and making us better as an institution. And so those kind of things I think are going to flourish in the future, and we're excited about the future of collaboration between our two institutions.
I'll also add that it's fascinating when you look at the two leaders of the medical school at the University of Utah and our newly appointed dean at BYU. They've got a BYU grad leading their School of Medicine, and we've got a University of Utah grad. That was not by design, but we couldn't imagine a kind of a better symbiotic opportunity for the two institutions to collaborate.
Agreed.
That's a great way to frame the collaboration. I want to read very briefly just two quick excerpts from articles from both your respective schools. I think these are both in 2024, but about the new BYU Medical School, a statement from the University of Utah News saying, quote, "University leaders affirm that BYU's internationally focused health education plans complement University of Utah Health's state-focused mission and offer new opportunities to serve growing healthcare needs locally and around the world." So this is very much beyond just the state of Utah. And then another link from BYU News saying that BYU professors co-authored a staggering 1,388 publications with colleagues at the University of Utah alone. So again, kind of bolstering that. There's so much exchange of knowledge and expertise in both directions that in some ways is kind of staggering that, well, for sure on the sports field at times, there's this sense of rivalry. Universities all, of course, recruit students, want students to come there. But even so, there's such a spirit of collaboration. And I want to ask you both about this concept of thinking differently but acting together. It's a concept we've heard often from Yuval Levin, American Enterprise Institute scholar. We've had him participate with Sutherland on a number of fronts over the years, big fan of his work. And he uses that term of acting together while thinking differently as sort of a model for restoring civic health as a nation. When you hear that term, that phrase, how do you think that applies to what you two do with your respective universities?
I'm a big believer that if you bring two individuals together that have different strengths, and by definition that means they've spent a lot of time developing those strengths independent of each other, that 1 + 1 equals more than 2. And to me, that's the essence of, I think, what we're trying to do at a researcher level between our two institutions. There are just so many strengths that you can point at in each of our incredible universities that if we're able to match those individuals and they find passion for a problem that is common to humanity, we're going to see just remarkable innovation. And to me, it's that innovation that gets rid of the trade-offs that we all hate to face on a daily basis, right? I want to have my cake and I want to eat it too. And it is innovation and discovery that allows us to happen. And we've just got to create an environment so people can thrive in that.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with what Taylor just said. One of the things that we've always felt is that we have colleagues all the time at BYU who drive to the airport, hop on a plane to go collaborate with somebody all around the country. Why wouldn't we just drive up to the airport and be right next to the University of Utah? There are so many places where I think that we have complementary things that really do lead to the 1 + 1 is greater than 2 mentality. And in the end, I think that the engine that drove the formation of Silicon Slopes was really that very thing. It was, hey, we have got an absolute surge of intellectual power, entrepreneurial spirit in this state, in this very small hour kind of vicinity of one another. We don't need to go outside to just build on that strength. In fact, what's happened is we've seen at Silicon Slopes in particular, if you build it, they will come. We're seeing people pour into the state, not only human capital, but also resources and other things that see the energy and enthusiasm that the sort of beehive state itself has really cultivated. It's an amazing thing, and these two institutions are a huge part of what we're seeing happening in that area.
Yeah, the remarkable byproduct of all of our universities is Utah has the third most educated workforce in the country, right? That is a rare commodity that allows economics and civil society to thrive.
Thanks for watching that clip of Defending Ideas. For the full conversation, click the link in the description and make sure to like and subscribe wherever you get your shows.